G'day everyone, welcome to another episode of Insights with Tris and Belle. I'm Tris, joined with Belle as always. How are we doing, Belle?
We're back. I'm really good. How are you, Tris?
I'm really well. I'm shamelessly plugging my Power Chair Football jersey.
Oh,
So we are
so cool
back
though.
in Queensland. Lions Power Chair
Yeah,
Football Club is back
yeah.
on the court, so it's great.
Amazing. The only thing I'm plugging is that I'm a Gemini with my necklace. It has the symbol on it, and that's not nearly as exciting.
There we go. You plug it away
Yeah,
all the same. It's all fine.
yeah. I think so. One of those horoscopy sort of people.
So I love these people. It's great.
Yeah.
So today we want to talk about a very real topic: disability and
Mm.
dating. Um, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a bit of a journey. We're
Yes.
going to
As
unpack
it
some.
has been in real life.
Always, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And look, this was prompted for the viewers watching at home
Yes.
by a recent story over in the UK
Mm.
of a journalist, UK journalist with a disability, who, when signing up to an online dating site, was
Mm.
told by said online dating site that she probably won't have much luck, and they don't really want to
Yeah.
sign her up. You know, they said they were trying to be
Where to
upfront with
start with that,
her,
really?
but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
let's get straight into it.
My
What
goodness.
do we
Oh,
think?
there are issues on so many levels. I mean, I see it as being broken into two things. One, what that is saying to the typically abled community about people with disabilities dating, and two, what that's saying to people with disabilities who are just trying to live their life, meet some people, have some fun times, maybe get a free meal here and there on a date.
Amazing.
And it's not saying anything good. I think, yeah, it's super negative. It's saying that, one, we don't want you here. That's purely based on something physical that you have no control over, which in any other circumstance would be entirely inappropriate.
Mhm.
And three, you are not appealing to the typically abled community, which is very negative.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there is a truth from my own experience
Hmm.
that I would say it is probably slightly harder to have a disability
Yeah.
in dating
Yeah.
because the online dating sites, they can lean towards the slightly superficial
Very
sometimes.
true. Yep.
But
Face value for sure.
the fact is that just because of that, it doesn't mean
Mm.
that a site should make assumptions on behalf of their own members.
No, no.
Um,
Well, it's segregation, which we learnt nothing from history that there are a whole host of issues that come along with that.
Fun fact, guys, it doesn't work. Fun fact,
No,
it doesn't work.
we can tell you based on a few historical events
Yeah,
here and there.
it's incredibly unjust and it's so
Yep,
unfair. And
totally.
I think the other aspect of this is that they just made a decision without any input from someone with a disability.
True. Yeah,
Maybe, let's put
yeah.
it out there, maybe it's due to the accessibility of their platform. Maybe
Yes,
there's a
exactly.
whole other of factors that
Yeah.
lead to these stereotypes and assumptions taking
Yeah, and
place.
that
So,
society has a lot of work to do on how it presents people with disabilities. We've had these conversations before, but there's very little representation. So when you see someone on a dating app, like, it might be the first time you've seen someone with a disability,
yeah.
and they need to be better at doing that and creating access rather than saying, "Oh, this isn't going to work for you."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the perfect segue as well to open
Mm.
up a little bit about ourselves for our viewers
Yes,
at
yeah.
home. So I'll start. I have online dated. I don't know if
Hmm.
that's the correct verb, but I have. I've been on multiple platforms. I've been on dates leading from getting on these sorts of
Nice.
sites. And as I said, sometimes it is difficult, but we've just got to
Yeah,
keep um, try. I don't want to give up. Why would I give up? But
yeah,
everyone
right.
goes through
No.
these periods in their quest for love.
Yes, so
That
true.
there's
The journey, the
yeah,
adventure.
that's it.
Sounds like we're on The Bachelor.
With the which is I want to know in what point we're going to have a person with disability bachelor. That.
I know. Do you know that on the American one, there was the girl with the same arm as me, and I watched the whole season. It was so exciting. I loved it.
Amazing. I
She
what
wasn't like the Bachelorette. She was just one of like the big group of women, but
yeah.
it was still pretty cool.
Did she? How far did she progress? Did she get
I think
through?
she got to hometowns even. So like
Amazing.
she did pretty well. I was like, yes, queen. Like we love to see it.
And what do you think that sort of um, representation does for the rest of society? Like
Yeah,
it would just
well, I
destroy
think
stereotypes, doesn't it?
it does. It does because, one, it just there was that first face value thing where they first met and she felt the need to be like, oh, have one arm, let me explain that about myself. And then from that point, it was no longer very relevant. It was just like, okay, now she's going to go on this really cool date and have nice wine and cheese, and he's going to give her a rose and like fun things. And seeing someone with a disability presented as the like romantic interest is incredibly important. And I know for me, I was like, I thought that no one would want to date me when I was growing up. I was like, who could
Same,
love a girl with
likewise.
one arm? Yeah. And when I first started online dating, I would like crop the left side of my body out of all of my
Right.
photos. So it was just right armed Belle over here. And then I'd like, before going on a date, be like, by the way, I'm actually missing a limb. Because it would be like, oh, how will I spot you? I'm like, well, I've got quite a clear one for you there.
That's what it's very easy for me as well to be
Yeah.
spotted on the first date, because I'm just like, it will
Yes.
be the power chair
Yeah,
user.
exactly.
That's how you're gonna tell.
It stands out of the crowd. It's not like I'll be wearing a rose in my lapel. No, it's I'm in the power wheelchair. But no, and then I think seeing things like that and you know, having conversations with people in the community, I developed a bit more confidence. And now like my arm is like I make a pun about it in my like bio on online dating, and like my profession says professional arms dealer. And
That is gold.
but
It's
the
gold.
funny thing is one time I got this person who responded to it and was like, oh, like, so you sell weapons? And I was like, no, doll, like I don't.
There's a pun
It was
going
a
on here. Yeah,
joke.
yeah.
And also, why do you want weapons? I'm definitely not going on a date with you. So it has led to some rather amusing things. But yeah, I've got personality 10 out of 10, arms 1 out of 2. So
That's amazing.
that's
I
what my
love
bio
that.
says. Yeah.
My bio is undisputed musical chairs champion.
Oh
Because
my
let's be
god.
honest, I'm in the chair. I can't be beaten.
Yeah, you're the
I'm the
constant
champion.
winner. Before anyone's even tried, you've
Yeah,
already won.
yeah. It's quite funny, that aspect, because I think that humor is a great way to
Yeah.
disarm someone and just normalize.
Disarm.
Yeah,
Tris, did you mean
I'm
to?
sorry. I'm really sorry.
No, it was
Um,
so funny.
I go for it. I go for it.
Yeah.
But I think humor is such an important thing. It's such a
It is.
like valuable tool,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
what makes things normal.
Yes, totally. I think it takes away that slight level of discomfort. It addresses the elephant in the room in a way that makes people comfortable, makes people laugh.
Yeah.
And then you can be like, right, that's that addressed now. Moving on. Here's Belle, here's Tris. This is who we are
Yeah,
outside of the fact that we have physical differences. Like that's it. You know?
absolutely. I went
Mm,
through a similar scenario as yourself. When I first was online dating, I would always hide the wheelchair. And I don't know
yeah.
what time the epiphany came where I thought, no, this is who I am. And
Yeah.
it was also a case of, if someone on the other side would like me from the outset because of that, surely that's the person
Yeah.
I want to be with.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
It-
My mother in her great wisdom always said like it's an excellent like bad detector or a bad person detector, because the sort of person who doesn't want to be with you because you're missing an arm or in a wheelchair is not the sort of person you would want to be with anyway, you know?
Yeah,
So it kind of cuts the profane word thing from it.
yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then if we move to, you know, talking to people online, we then
Yes.
obviously have to meet them in the real world. We
Yeah.
have to go
Yeah.
on dates. That's how it works.
Yeah.
We're now, fingers crossed, still out of COVID. We're
Yes.
continuing, and we can meet people in the real world. Um,
Yeah.
what's it like? Are there any awkward interactions? Do people ever say the wrong thing?
Yeah,
Um,
I think there are a few ways in which it's awkward. It can be what people say or just how they like behave around me. I've been on very few dates where someone's been comfortable, like, you know, like how you'd hold hands with holding my arm. And the ones that I have been, I'm like, you're a keeper there, well done. You passed the test. So that's always nice. And a lot of the time they just avoid it or avoid touching me at all on that side, which I
right.
find is quite interesting.
Yeah, right.
Interesting, frustrating. What's the adjective that I'm looking for? And then I think that some of the things that I felt awkward about, particularly, is like if we're going to eat and I'm like, okay, I need to like plan what I'm going to order off the menu, that I don't have to use a knife and a fork at once for, because I can do that, but I feel still have some like self-consciousness about the way I look when I'm eating like that.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, all right, I'll get like a pasta that's just fork, easy. And then one time I went on a date to a steak place, and steak is a struggle for me. And then I just like sat there for ages, like hacking away. He's like, "Do you want my help?" I was like, "No, it's fine. I'll get through it. It's okay." That's the thing. I'm so stubborn. I will most of the time say no to help. But yeah, that was a little bit awkward, and I was too nervous to be like, a steak house is really not the vibe for me for a first date. But yes, it has led to some awkward or funny experiences. But most of the time, people are curious and interested and want to know.
Yeah. That's what I like it
And
when someone's
lovely.
curious. I
Yeah.
like it when they just say, look, they get to know us first, like they sit down and have
Yeah.
a chat, and if there's any questions,
Yeah.
they just sort of bring it up as part of the conversation. It's not the
Literally.
defining aspect of our identity, but
Yes.
saying that I don't mind them just like naturally after they know us saying, look, hey, I'm just
Mm,
curious, does,
totally.
is this what this means? Is this what, am I using the right
Mm,
language? I
yes.
really respect that. I appreciate when
Yes.
people do that.
I love when
Um,
they check in. Yeah.
why is food's an issue for me as well. It's like
Yeah.
if I can't cut my food up, I can't lift
Mm,
glasses.
yeah.
I've literally, because I don't want to take a support worker on a date.
No. Kind of
That's
kills the
just a
vibe a
bit
little bit there.
freewheeling, just not appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So usually before a date, I'll flick them a message and say, hey, look, this is a go. Do you mind
Mm,
helping me out? And everyone I've ever asked that of always says no
yeah.
worries. They just
Yeah.
help me out in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Which is
Um,
awesome.
and that goes to show, as your mother sort of alluded to,
Yeah.
that they're the right people for
Yes.
us. They're
Yeah.
they're kind, they're generous, they're.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder as well if that we have kind of this, we talk about society's perceptions of peoples with disability, but I don't think that that just affects the typically able community. I also think it has a great effect on how we see ourselves and the concerns we have about ourselves. So I think
Absolutely.
that these negative stereotypes, and, women not being welcome on dating sites, or that woman in particular in the UK, for
Yeah.
example, has an effect that you think, oh, people aren't going to actually want to date me. And even if that's a subconscious thing, it happens. And then you're like, feel awkward about asking and expecting someone to say no. And then I think actually we're disproven a lot of the time in how we feel about ourselves and our own like self-consciousness. And that's proven wrong, which is always nice when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose the one thing that I recommend that no one does, which I have done, is declare that you're single on national TV. Have done
Yeah.
that. Don't do that, guys. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. It's not
The DMs weren't
suitable.
flooded.
No, well, they were, but by people that, I got
Yeah.
proposed to by a 65-year-old,
Oh,
and nothing,
goodness.
nothing wrong,
Yeah.
nothing wrong, but just not where
Yeah.
different life stages. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they say age is a number, but it is a number, like
absolutely.
and there are many between those two ages. You wouldn't imagine the amount of like requests I get to go on dates and stuff on social media, and they're always from people who are like, I love you, beautiful amputee girl. Like, oh, you're stumped. Can I take you on a date?
Really?
I'm like, no, thank you. That's fine.
No, I don't want
Block
to.
immediately.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's probably the wise course of action in that
yeah, yeah,
instance.
yeah.
Yeah, no. But look, I think it all boils down to jokes aside. You
Mm,
raised such a valid point. Then that it stems to this notion that we just have to normalize. It's not always
yeah.
easy. Like for me, I
No.
encounter strife. Lots
Yep.
of rejections, but
Mm,
that's okay because they're
yeah.
saying no. I don't take it personally. And if
Exactly.
nothing else, I'm showing the rest of the world that people with disabilities are interested in dating. If it's
Yeah.
not
Totally.
going to happen in this generation for that particular person, maybe their children,
Yep.
because of that
For
exposure, will
sure.
see it and go, "Oh, this
Exactly.
is this is a thing." So
It's so true. And I mean, nothing worth doing is ever easy necessarily. So it's not a reason to, jump off the horse in terms of dating.
and
It's worth
love, add
doing.
it to
Yeah.
love, not
Yeah.
an easy thing. No,
No, exactly,
no.
in any context. So yeah, beautiful. This was great, Tris.
This was emotional. This was
Yeah.
cathartic for me. I don't know if it was for
Mm.
you as well.
Oh, definitely.
Um, but I think we've gone full circle. We've covered it
Yeah.
expertly, as we always do.
What can I say?
So as always, to the viewers at home, comment, let us know
Mm,
about your own experiences. We want to hear them as much as
yes,
sharing our own. So
definitely.
also jump on the Clickability blog, and we'll see you next time as well. Cheers,
Yeah, can't
guys.
wait. See you, everybody. Bye.